Good morning, how are you? I hope you're well. Welcome to Mel's and Dory's musings this morning. So when I pulled the inspirational words for today, I got, to the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. And what came to mind is an analogy. So I'm going to ask you a question, I'm going to put it to you. You're walking about in your home, in your office, wherever you might be, and you have a drink in your hand. You have a cup of your favorite brew. You may have a gin and tonic, it doesn't matter. And as you're walking about, somebody comes and just bumps really hard into you and your drink spills. Why is it that your drink spilt, is the question. Why is it your drink spilt? You may immediately say, because somebody bumped into me. No, it spilt because it was actually in the cup. If you have coffee in the cup, the coffee spilt. If you have tea in the cup, the tea spilt. If you have gin and tonic in the cup, then that is what will spill. So then if we take that to an analogy of ourselves, whatever is in us and the bump into us is our trigger. Whatever is in us gets spilt out. We can have the biggest smile on our face, but when somebody bumps into us, physically, emotionally, mentally, that comes out. And it's not often us that then gets hurt by it, it's often those around us. So have a think about what is within you at the moment, and if you get triggered, if you're on that edge, what is going to spill out when you get bumped? So how do we then bring ourselves into stillness? For me, that can be in the midst of a busy supermarket, and I can just stop and go within for a moment. Pretend you're looking at the bread, the crisps, it doesn't matter, and just taking a breath. I center myself, put myself in a beautiful little bubble of protection, and I calm. And then everything looks different. It's just like these dark shades come off and everything looks clear again, and I can go about because I've put back maybe what was in my cup, or I've released it, but I've released it in a much better way. I can visualize it flowing out through my feet. And then, whew, that's gone. So if I get bumped, I don't get triggered. And I was thinking about little one here. Yes, we're talking about you. We are. I was talking about Dory, thinking about her, and how when we first had her, her triggers were huge, and a bump to her was coming in the room, a bump to her was her seeing something different, a bump to her was seeing her reflection, and what came out was fear and noise. And that's still there to a certain extent, but it's lessening because she is emptying that out. She's emptying out her cup. But also we need to remember, when I pulled the second card, I never lose sight of the fact that just being is fun. A lovely quote from Audrey Hepburn. Just being. We think it's boring. We think, oh, if I'm going to have to sit still, it's boring. But yesterday I got very creative, and I'll tell you soon about my little creative project. And it made me so filled with joy that I could create something. I could make something. And so I found that was my way of just being. Just taking myself away from what was pushing and shoving, and do you know what? What was in my cup emptied. And then there was just calm and happiness at what I'd created. So have a think today, what's in your cup? And if you get bumped, what's going to come out, and who will you damage? So maybe it's time to just sit in that calmness. Maybe now it's time to still the mind amongst the busyness. People always think you have to sit and meditate for hours. No, I just gave you an example of how I do it. I'm not someone to sit and do that. It's just I'm taking a moment here to speak to you. Yes, we have busyness all around us. We have calls on our time. Sometimes just visiting the bathroom. That's the place to go. I used to do that at work. Breathe, empty out what was in there that was going to get triggered, and then walk out into the world as if I was a different person. So I wish you well. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.